This whole project started 6 years ago when I was just living a lifestyle, just out there, going to concerts, camping, trying to meet all kinds of new people in my Volkswagen Westfalia. And the more traveling and the more partying and the more concerts we did, we just needed more room, especially a bathroom. Air conditioning doesn't hurt either. I just wanted a more comfortable lifestyle of camping and partying, because this was initially supposed to be a tailgating vehicle. I bought the bus one day. My old man followed me up to pick it up, and he was extremely upset when he found out I bought a school bus. But we moved forward on it and kind of turned it into just something special, and it kind of progressed from there. You know, we just kept building and making it better and making it more convenient and making it more easy to use and whatnot. So the Volkswagen van unfortunately sits now. So the bus goes everywhere and people know the bus now. So when we get places for 6 years straight, we party with the same people and they look for the bus. And it's become this weird sense of community that you don't really understand until you're in it. And I love it to death. I don't think I'd give it up.
Hello, this is Patrick with New Jersey's Outdoor Adventures YouTube channel. Today I met up with Joel, and Joel has a really cool school bus conversion he's gonna give us a tour of today. If you look up top, it's got a Skydeck, so join us. Hello, Joel, and welcome to New Jersey Outdoor Adventures.
Hi, I'm Joel. I'm the owner of Joel's Fab Shop. Thanks for having me. Today I'm here to show you my 2000 International with a T444 7.3 with the Allison transmission. Come on inside and I'll give you the tour. So as you can see, we just have a standard school bus cockpit, which nothing's really been changed but an upgraded seat, which is actually a minivan seat that folds down into a table. But as you make your way back, you'll see that we have all kinds of counter space, little bar seating area, sofas that turn into beds so we can sleep up to 4 people, kitchen on this side, and then we have the shower and the bathroom in the back. We have a backup camera, which makes life a lot easier when you're backing these things up. Amazing stereo system for the necessities for me. The seat is actually out of a Dodge Caravan. It actually folds down into a table so you can kind of rest your drinks or even have another seat facing towards the back and you have a few people in here. As far as electrical system goes, we have obviously a 50 amp electrical panel here. The vehicle has 2 automatic transfer switches that will change between a 2000 watt power inverter and the shore power and the generator that's on board. So you have several power options along with the solar. All the electronics are down here. We have a pedestal here that is actually a boat seat pedestal so that when your company is riding with you, they can sit next to you. It's a simple solution, but it worked out well. Full laminate floor setup all the way front to back, which has worked out very well. As far as the stereo system goes and whatnot, we have, I believe it's 3000 watts of power, and we have 2 speakers up here, 2 speakers out back, and then we have subwoofers down below. Curtains to give you privacy, all on cables, which I got from IKEA, very inexpensive. Little ceiling fan that I got on Amazon, which is lovely when you're driving in the hot days. This is just storage for my awning crank and my security system and whatnot. As you make your way back, you'll see the floor or the ceiling is actually woven palm leaves from a tiki bar site I found online, which was a very simple solution for the ceiling because you can kind of lay it out and you can take it down if you need to, if you want to run wires, but everything is just stapled to the ceiling with wood strips and whatnot. We have LED lighting run the whole length of the bus, which actually is wireless. It's on a remote, so you can dim them, you can turn them on before you come on the bus, you can turn them on from any location in the bus, you can turn them off for privacy. It's just a nice, simple lighting system. When you come right in, we also have more IKEA goodies, which is just storage bins that open up and hold whatever junk we have decided to put in there. Going along with our wireless internet system, we actually have an old school phone that does work, which is fun. There's a little conversation piece. Making your way back, you'll see that we have a 7.5 cubic inch refrigerator, which is basically a regular 110 volt refrigerator. I decided not to go with a standard RV one for cost, and this runs well on the 2000 watt power inverter without any issue. So we have the TV and the fan just rests on top of the refrigerator, but we never use a TV-DVD combo, but it's there for those rainy nights when you get bored and you don't have anything else to do. When you make your way back, you'll see that I have actual house gutters along both sides of the bus, which also hides the curtains that pull down for your privacy, but also gives you a lot of storage space, which has actually worked out very well. Have an ice maker in the bus because, I mean, it's no fun when you don't have any frosty beverages, right? And then we have a little toaster oven, coffee maker, along with our huge butcher block countertops. So originally this was a 12-foot counter, which I thought was gonna be amazing, but we had to cut it down a little to get the refrigerator in there. Have it on both sides, but it's just from Woodworkers Warehouse. Inexpensive butcher block, but it's only finished with food grade oils. It goes well right on top of the countertops, the counters that the cabinets rather, that I got from Home Depot. They're just cut down so that they sit underneath the window. I decided not to go with drawers because I didn't want them to open as I was driving down the road. And what I did was I just went with large counter space or cabinet space, and then I got these wire baskets from IKEA so that I can make it however I want. I can store anything I really want. The dishes and so, like canned goods and whatnot stay in these little totes. Again, a lot of IKEA goodies that are inexpensive. We have towel racks, which are good for hanging anything while you're cooking. Another one, we have the wire rack in here, and that's really our cleaning supplies, our wire baskets, which is like anything we need for camping. The bus is pretty much set up for whenever we're ready to go. We just pack up and go. So, propane stove, which I'll show you guys later on the outside. It actually has a propane tank that's interchangeable inside a cabinet. So the propane actually controls the stove as well as the RV style heater. So those are the two propane goodies on this side of the bus that are very efficient and seem to last a long time. Keep the electric scooters next to my stereo system along with all the power plant of the bus. Down here we just have the stereo amplifier. I have the solar controller here, which is an 800 watt solar controller. Right now I'm only utilizing 400 watts of it. It's done well enough for my needs with the LED lighting so far, but there's always room to grow on this. I have a 65 amp marine charger, which when I'm plugged into shore power will keep the bus charged all the time. I can split the batteries outside so that you can charge 2, 4, 6 batteries, whatever you're using at the moment. 2000 watt power inverter, and then you have all your 12 volt goodies over there, which is all. I wanted to have it accessible. I wanted to, if I have an issue, I want to be able to address it, so it's there. I use bar style seating, which stores really nicely because these are actually hydraulic and they will go up high and they actually tuck underneath the counter, so when the vehicle is in motion, nothing moves around, which of course also keeps the cabinets closed when we're driving, so it's kind of dual purpose, but it just allows me to have more a social event when I have when we go to festivals or have friends over or we go camping as groups and whatnot. This front sofa also turns into a pull-out couch. It also has under storage, which is basically where I keep all my tools and my camping gear just in case. But it's not a real big sofa. It's good for kids or smaller people or one person, but it works out pretty well. I have air conditioning in the back, and to help climate control the front, I installed just this 4-inch duct that has an inline fan that pulls some of the cool air from the back of the bus up to the front when needed. The cabinets and the closets also hold a 15-gallon water tank for the front sink, and that's all that is for. Then we just have shelves here for our clothing and toys and whatnot. And then we have our boat seat that goes here for storage, but it actually goes up front for when we're traveling and whatnot. On the other side of the bus, we have the electric heater that has its own thermostat. This thermostat actually controls the propane unit. This also is my utility closet, which I really kept simple because I wanted to be able to access my water tank, my propane hot water heater, which is on demand, which is for the shower. And then we just keep our clothing here, so it's just easy to get to everything without closing things up. And we just keep it hidden with a curtain, so keep it nice and easy. Shower is just a normal residential shower. It's a 32 by 32 pan. And we actually used a fiberglass wall that's available at Home Depot and Lowe's. And I used the corner pieces from an actual shower or bathtub kit. I like having the shelves in there for our soaps and whatnot when we travel. So the shower actually drains into, there's two options for this. It has a diverter valve on the bottom that will, when we're like boondocking or whatnot, where we don't have connections, we have a valve that I can turn and we'll dump the shower water right onto the ground. If we're in a place where we don't want to put water onto the ground, you turn that valve and it'll actually put it into the 80-gallon black water tank, which also helps with the toilet and cleaning out the black water tank. So you have your choice for that. And behind it is the bathroom on the other side of the wall. This is my bedroom and kind of hangout spot. So when we're traveling to festivals or concerts, we use this for more seating for people, but ultimately this is the bedroom. It also has understorage, and it just really folds flat. We put a little foam cushion over top of it, and it's surprisingly probably the most comfortable bed we have at the whole residence. Everything here is 110. It's all wired into the inverter, which also, you know, you pick from your from your shore power or your inverter power, whatever you want. But they're just LED bulbs on a 110 circuit. You know, I got my little charging station. I gotta have my flashlight when we're at the dark campgrounds and whatnot. The curtains are, again, the wire curtains from IKEA. Kept it simple. My grandmother actually made this set for me. We run it back on the front, or on the back side of the bus and up here, and as well as in the bathroom. Yeah, I had to decorate it, make it a little homey. Got the little fan, another Amazon special, which is nice. It has a drawstring, so when you're sleeping at night, you can kind of just pull it to where you want when you turn it on. Right now the circuit's off. I'm using a 12,000 BTU residential air conditioner, and the only reason I went that route on this bus is because I just have an amazing rooftop deck that I didn't want to cut a hole in for a rooftop air conditioner. And this actually keeps the bus surprisingly cool and without any kind of intrusion through the roof. I have a cubic mini wood stove, which I have a love-hate relationship with. I think it's an amazing little unit, but it burns small logs, so of course chopping logs and whatnot is tedious. But for a cold winter night, it's kind of fun. You sit here, lay on the bed. It's got just a straight stack going up for the chimney. And then of course I had to put metal here so that we don't set any of the palm leaves on fire. So as far as the bathroom goes, I have this double wall set up here so that we can kind of stash the toilet paper and just extra goodies, whatever we need for the bathroom. So I lined the walls with cedar planks just for, it was an amazing smell when it was new, but I like the look of it and whatnot. And again, simple stuff, just brad nailed to the wall. We have a light in here, which certainly is nice when everyone else is sleeping. We have a standard RV toilet. I didn't want to go with a composting setup because most of my camping is gonna be done in regular RV parks and whatnot, but it's easy to drain, it's easy to maintain, it's easy to clean. It just drops right into an 80-gallon black water tank, which is underneath where the actual valve to clean it out is. So, back door, still standard bus. Didn't change anything there. I used to have a deck on the back, which I removed for several reasons, including tail swing and whatnot. But it also houses a spare tire, which I think most people overlook, and it's nice to have when you're out there on the road. And we'll take you on to the outside and show you what's going on out there. The floor, or the steps rather, were completely rotted out and needed all new metal, but I didn't like putting the rubber back on it, so I went with just the Trex decking, which is zip screwed right down, which I think the look is inexpensive and it's a good look in my opinion. I used the same stuff they use on the sides of transit buses for advertising. It's actually a perforated vinyl for privacy when we go wherever. As long as the lights are not on inside, you can't see through it, and it kind of gives it a cool look with the little digital camo. We do a small festival in the woods up in Upper Black Eddy, Pennsylvania. It's called Camp Quarantine. And one of the things that we have realized we needed is stage lights and, you know, a means to see when you have absolutely nothing around you. So over the past year, because it started with COVID, I decided to add these ridiculous 20,000 lumen LED lights on it so that we can actually see what we're doing in the woods. So the conduit running up the side runs to a switch inside, which gives us the stage lights that we need in the woods. The bus is actually painted with a new Jeep Wrangler Anvil Gray. It's that cool color on the Jeeps that everybody says, wow, that looks really cool, but they don't really know what it is. Kind of gives it a little army feel or prison bus look. And what I was going for is something kind of not Mad Max, but maybe a little scary from the outside and soft on the inside. So that's what we went with. As far as the roof rack and rooftop deck and whatnot goes, I have this ladder, which was actually 2 pieces of metal left over from my roof rack. I needed some way to access it, so I just took 2 crossbars, welded them to the side of the bus, got us up there, which is connected to a 24-foot aluminum deck. 20-foot awning on the bus. Can't remember where I got that from, but I wanted to go as big as I possibly could. And where the ladder sits towards the back of the bus, that's the best we could do. Gotta have the bottle opener on the side of the bus because every day's a party when you're taking this out. I added truck boxes to the bottom, which actually had to be shortened. Both of these boxes were the same width. I had to cut this one in half, make it smaller, which is actually now housing my propane, which feeds the heater and the stove. But it is capable to hold 3 30-gallon units, or bottles, I should say, which surprisingly will give you about 2 to 3 weeks of heat in this, especially if you pair it with the electric heater. Moving to the front box, this is just all my electrical components and my chairs, all the things we need to set up with when we get there. The stove inside, or the furnace inside rather, is a Suburban propane unit, and it is actually one of the nicer things that I think people should use, because it is vented to the outside. And if anyone has used any kind of propane heat in their vehicle, they'll know that the windows fog up. It's a wet heat. When you go with something like this unit, it vents to the outside and all it does is heat the bus. The side panels of the bus were actually repurposed from the roof inside. Took all the metal down just for a weight reduction kind of thing, but I figured it was kind of silly to buy new metal, so I blocked off all the window panels with the actual roof material. You'll see the spare tires mounted on the back now. Again, it's just something that I hope I never have to change, but if it ever happens, it's there. Backup lights, these are just white lights with reflectors. She goes down the road, it's pretty dark, so I want to be seen a little better. Tail lights have been kind of relocated for an emergency purpose. I have a backup camera, which helps so much. As far as the 80-gallon Blackwater tank goes, it's mounted underneath here, which comes to your dump valve here. In front of the 80-gallon tank, I have my shore power, my vent to the 80-gallon tank goes up to the roof there. On the other side of this, on the other side of the wall, I actually have another transfer switch will actually change between the 6,500 watt generator and the shore power. We also have the water, like the city water hookup, which I have never used, but it is there just in case. Moving down the side, I actually have left space to put additional boxes over here, but I have so many storage boxes between the roof and the other side, I haven't really found a need to install it yet. Solar runs from the roof, which is, it's hinged so you can pivot it whatever direction you need. But the wires just run down, go through the sidewall of the bus and to the solar charger over there. custom lights, which were a little difficult to find, but they're just clear lights with some film over top of it. And then of course LED headlights, which make seeing at night incredibly better. The bumper is actually a bumper off of I guess it's a late 2000s Peterbilt, which actually was a straight bumper to begin with. But when I put it on there, it didn't work very well. It looked a little goofy. So we just cut it, bent it in, re-welded it so it follows the body a little bit, and it gives the truck a little bit of a meaner look. As well as the semi-truck exhaust stack that I felt the need to add because I like my vehicles loud and to look cool. So it makes a statement going down the road now. I can take you guys up to the roof now and show you the rooftop deck and give you the tour up there. All right, so here we have the rooftop deck. Solar panels, again, it's 4 panels. They're 100 watts a piece. It's a 400 watt setup. It does pivot. I have it so that I can lay it flat for travel. And then if I want to position it the other way, it'll pivot that way too. These are nothing more than truck toolboxes. Originally, when I did this rooftop deck, I had a cool picnic table with an umbrella up here. Looked great, was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, a lot of people fell off. So we had to remove that, and I had to figure out a way to kind of give us a little bit of a barricade and a seating position. So what I gained with that was storage. And I don't really use it much, but as you move down, each one has plenty of room. I keep my mat for like outside and underneath the awning in here. I usually throw my easy up tent in here. The deck is actually aluminum, which is fantastic because each one of these panels only weighs 44 pounds. So these are actually bleacher seats. They're the same thing that you're gonna get at a baseball field, or if you go to a concert, this is what you're gonna sit on. But they're 24 feet long and they weigh nothing. So again, when it comes to weight reduction, instead of having the heavy wood that's not gonna last the test of time, you have aluminum and it's screwed into steel brackets. It's never gonna go bad. This, my E-Track here, this is an afterthought, but I have a 13,000 watt generator that I will throw up here for our festival, Camp Quarantine. And when we do that, I strap that thing there and we run the power out to the stage. So it's out of the way, it's quiet on the roof, works out real well. Moving to the back of it, you'll see the chimney for the wood burning stove. It does have a cap on it right now just to keep the weather out and keep the wood burner from the moisture getting inside it. So it travels well. And of course it keeps the wind from blowing the ashes all around your bus when you're driving after you had a fire. So it's a simple solution. But there you have it. That's the rooftop deck. And it's definitely a place to party.
Joel, thank you very much for taking the time to give us a tour of your beautiful Skoolie conversion here at beautiful Mercer County Park. Can you tell our viewers a little bit about the purchase process of buying a school bus and how titling and insurance and all that works?
Absolutely. That's been an adventure in itself. When I first bought the bus, it wasn't much of a problem because 6 years ago, there weren't many people doing it. They just said, here's your title, have a good time. Back then, I was buying buses for anywhere between $800 and $1,200 a piece. That just doesn't happen anymore. The fad has gotten crazy. You got to figure out what you want. You have to figure out what you need. I mean, when I bought this bus, probably wouldn't recommend people buying this exact bus right now because it's just a different driveline. People have gotten smarter. They understand what to look for. This particular bus has a T44 7.3 International motor. It's paired with a 545 Allison transmission, which is a 3-speed transmission. Normally, I probably wouldn't recommend that combination for somebody who's trying to travel because it doesn't have the highway speeds. You have to do a lot to get this particular vehicle to do so. This one now has been re-geared, it has a tune, so now she'll do 75 miles an hour down the highway. So you know, if you don't know those kind of things and what you're purchasing, it makes things a little difficult. When it comes to titling, the DMV gives you a different story no matter what location you go to. You're going to get a different person. Somebody's going to tell you can't get the thing titled because it's yellow. Somebody's going to tell you can't drive it because you don't have a CDL. Your friends are going to tell you because of the size, because of this, because of that. I can tell you in New Jersey, you don't need a CDL for this. A CDL is a commercial driver's license. If you are not using it for commercial purposes, you don't need a commercial driver's license. I think people overthink things. You know, it's a really fun thing to do. It's a fun thing to tour around, and it's a fun thing to build. It's just the experience you have are fun, and people overthink it. Find what you think works for you. Find something that is something that you like. Something, you may like a flat nose. You may like this style school bus. You just have to find what works for you, and then just have a mechanic go over it. Don't let people stop you. Get what you want and do it up. It's a fun experience, and if you can't do it, you know, you can buy this one. It's for sale. So it's definitely been experienced. It's definitely been a fun 6 years. Having this has opened up doors. You wouldn't believe the amount of people that you're going to meet just driving down the road, not even living it, just going to concerts or just going to a fun weekend in Pennsylvania somewhere. Everybody wants to talk to you. So you definitely need to be the friendly sort if you're going to drive a school bus or a Skoolie or a conversion or anything of this, or a Volkswagen van, any of those things. People want to talk to you. They want to know about it. It's fun, and it's a blast.
And I know you mentioned it was for sale and that you have another project coming up. So you built this one out, you've had it for a while. On your next build, what are you going to do different?
This build has been what I thought I needed. And after you use something for 6 years, you realize what you're missing, or maybe what you use and what you don't use. So I do a lot of metal fab work through my fab shop. My next project is actually going to be the same length, 38-foot bus, 37-foot bus, whatever it is. And it's actually going to be a car hauler and a camper. So it's going to be similar to these toy haulers that you're starting to see online now. Just going to do things a little more geared to how I would like to do them. Maybe a roof raise and like a loft up top and some pull-out couches, and then this big deck that goes over top of the car hauler. We're gonna get crazy this one. We're gonna go off the wall. Once this one sells, we're gonna start putting money into the other one, and we're gonna build something that nobody's ever seen before. And if you guys are interested, follow me on Instagram. It's Joel's Fab Shop and VW Joel. We have tons of projects. It's just never ending, and the wacky work we get it blows my mind sometimes, but the school bus thing has been a big part of it.
Well, Joe, thank you very much for meeting me here today. Well, this is Patrick with New Jersey's Outdoor Adventures YouTube channel. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please like this video, comment, share, and subscribe. I love it, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks for having me.